Steve Sarkisian and Texas Longhorns head into the SEC with a lot of momentum after winning a conference title in their last year in the Big 12 and making the college football playoff in 2023. Big question, can they capitalize on the momentum? They certainly have the momentum right now in Austin. Can they capitalize on it from last year? And can they use that as a springboard into another playoff appearance? And obviously, you're adding more teams. They can make it with a 4-team playoff last year. Pretty damn good squad last year in Austin. Can they transition that to making a 12-team playoff this year? And as we know, momentum can fade quickly. And as soon as you think you've arrived, someone passed you up. That will be the challenge for Steve Sarkisian and his 2024 Texas Longhorns as they head into a new era of college football and the Southeastern Conference. But with that being said, I'm here to give you the 3 biggest what-ifs for the Texas Longhorns heading into 2024. Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel, folks. I'm your host, Dave Shumate, long-time college football personnel guy that has worked in SEC football recruiting departments, personnel departments for 7 seasons. But before we get to the segment, we do have some bills to pay. Guys, I mentioned it every one of these what-if segments. Go see our guys at SeatGeek. I've been to a couple Braves games since I've moved to Atlanta. And I've used our guys at SeatGeek every time, and I've had a phenomenal experience. So if you're not a Major League Baseball fan waiting for the college football season, I encourage you starting on Labor Day. If you're in Atlanta, go use our friends at SeatGeek for the Clemson-Georgia game if you're in the area. But if you're taking me up on my offer, use code SECU for $20 off your purchase. You will not regret it, guys. I promise you. But back to why you're here, the segment. 3 biggest what-ifs for the Texas Longhorns heading in to 2024. What if Quinn Ewers, first, what if Quinn Ewers can't stay healthy for a 3rd straight season? I think it's a fair what if. I even think your most realistic Texas fans would be, yeah, it's a concern. Now, we've seen all the articles come out. He's not eating Chick-fil-A anymore. He's not getting the spicy chicken sandwich combo. What is that, the number 3? He's not getting the spicy chicken sandwich biscuit. Maybe he's not even a spicy guy, and he's just getting the 8-12 count nugget. Who knows? But he's put that to the side. Sounds like he's built more of a developmental plan with his nutritionist, which is very important. We don't talk about that enough. Them and the strength and conditioning coaches, people that are in that support staff. In all seriousness, though, it sounds like Quinn Ewers has completely changed his diet. So to be fair to Quinn Ewers, this is something I expect to improve on. But if Ewers can't stay healthy, it's Arch Manning's time to shine. I think Arch will do fine, but the confidence in my SEC championship game prediction of Texas being there, wearing that burnt orange, just a little hint. And again, guys, I'm going to throw this teaser. Go check us out at CFB Focus preseason magazine. Phenomenal job. Me and a couple guys in the media. I encourage you to go follow. You can find it all over my social media. I give my SEC championship game-by-game predictions. Hinted it there. I think Texas can be pretty good. May see them in Atlanta. But for this scenario, for the sake of this argument, if Quinn Ewers is hurt, obviously, as good as Arch Manning is, that confidence level is going to go down a little bit. It is. And that's even with Texas having the best quarterback room in college football. But if Quinn Ewers can't stay healthy for a 3rd straight season, it's going to affect the Texas Longhorns, and that's going to affect Quinn Ewers' draft stock because no one's going to go take a quarterback that can't stay healthy. It's like I always say, and a lot of people always say from working in the college football industry, the best ability you have is availability. Moving to the next what if. Number 3 here, guys. Texas fans get fired up. Actually, this is likely. I think this is likely. What if kicker Bert Auburn wins the Lou Groza Award this year? I actually think this is going to happen. He's coached by one of the best he's coached by one of the best special teams coaches in the country, Jeff Banks. I worked with him at Texas A&M for 2 seasons, did a phenomenal job. We always had a good special teams unit from a coverage schematic standpoint, but just from a development of our kickers, that's why I think Bert Auburn is going to win the Lou Groza Award. I really don't think this was a big what if, but I wanted to bring it in because, like our guys at RU Serious Sports, we don't talk, like they mentioned, we don't talk enough about special teams on the way in. For whatever reason, we always just preview heading into the season, just offense and defense. And we talk about new coordinators, new portal addition. We don't talk about special teams play until Saturday afternoon when our kicker only went 2 for 4, missed a game-winning kick, or Sunday morning, the Monday morning quarterback situation type that. We're always looking at it in hindsight 2020, but we don't preview it. Texas got one of the best kickers in the country, folks, in Bert Auburn. I think he is going to win the Lou Groza Award. But what if he does? What does that mean? That means Texas is probably sitting pretty well with a chance to go to the SEC championship game. I mean, once you cross the 40s and almost at that point, if he's improved a little bit like I think he will to win the Lou Groza Award, I mean, probably if Texas crosses the 40, they probably feel pretty good about at least getting 3 points. But, I mean, Bert Auburn from last year in 2023, 82.9%, 29 for 35 overall, 8 for 9 between 20 and 29, 10 for 10 between 30 yards and 39 yards, and 9 for 12 from 40 to 49, and 2 for 4, 50-plus. If he just improves that 40 to 49 range, gets that up a little bit, maybe 11 for 12, something like that, and maybe 3 for 4, 4 for 5, the 50-plus range, I think he's going to do it. He's a weapon for Texas. I think he's only going to improve that. So I think number 45 for the Longhorns is going to have a massive, massive season. I'm actually pretty confident in this. Almost made it in some of my bold predictions for Texas, but we had bigger things to talk about, so I snuck it in here. So I hope you like that, Texas fans. And then finally, this is pretty broad, but what if Texas wins the SEC in their first season? I mean, some people have it in their predictions, but what if it actually happens? First, if you're a Texas fan, can you imagine that? You think the momentum from last year was great? Winning the Big 12 in his last year, which is awesome. Sayonara, Big 12. You left on bad terms. We won your league. You had to present us the conference championship trophy in your last conference championship game. That had to feel good. You made a college football playoff. Didn't play well enough, I should say, in New Orleans. But again, imagine if you won the SEC in your first year, because there's a lot of SEC fans out there beating their chest thinking the Longhorns aren't ready for it. Throw in the Sooners as well. But imagine walking into the best conference in the country and winning it all in your first year. I mean, talk about, again, springboard. You got to keep it going. If you're not getting better, someone else is, and they're going to surpass you. Again, I'm one of those guys. I don't think Texas is going to be shell-shocked coming into the Southeastern Conference. They built the line of scrimmage for 2 or 3 straight classes now phenomenally on both sides of the line of scrimmage, on the offensive line and defensive line. They had 2 defensive tackles drafted in the first 2 rounds of the 2024 NFL draft. They have one of the best tackles in the on the offensive side of the ball, and Kelvin Banks, one of the best offensive tackles. Texas is Steve Sarkisian and the boys have built a phenomenal roster up front. Sark's been in the SEC when he was the OC at Alabama. He knows how to win. Kyle Flood's been in the SEC, the offensive coordinator. Bo Davis, who's now at LSU, but helped build this line. They know what it's supposed to look like. I mean, I know Bo Davis is gone now, but still, when they built the players they have on this current roster now, they had a lot of coaches that know what it looked like to win in the SEC, and they've gone and done that. So I think Texas is going to be, I'm not saying they're going to go win the SEC this year, but it's not going to be some rude awakening like a lot of people think. Now, if you're a fan of any of the other 15 teams in the league, that should scare you if Texas goes and wins the SEC. And you may ask, why, Dave? Why? I mean, they just did it in their first year. I mean, Texas A&M went 12-1 their first year in the league. They've been inconsistent. Missouri won the East their first 2 of their first 3 years in the league, and they've been a little inconsistent. So that doesn't mean consistent success. Well, we're talking about one of the more wealthy college athletics departments in collegiate athletics, generating revenue that you can't even imagine. If you're one of these other 15 teams in the SEC and Texas leaves Atlanta come early December, hoisting the Southeastern Conference Championship in 2024, that should scare you because the support's already there from a collective standpoint. But what do you think that slush fund is going to look like from the big wigs in Texas that like to don the burnt orange if they go win it in the end? I mean, Steve Sarkisian could do no wrong at that point. He could go ask for a blank check, and I promise you they would give it to him. I promise you they would give it to him. Texas winning the SEC in the first year, that'd be a little scary for the other 50 teams. And again, you're still going to have Georgia, Bama, LSU, throw in Tennessee. I even think Oklahoma, sorry, Texas fans. I think they're going to be fine. They'll be fine. But, man, if Texas went and won the SEC in year one, that'd be a little scary for the other 15 teams in the league. But, guys, that'll do it for this segment of what are the 3 biggest what-ifs for the Texas Longhorns heading into 2024. First, what if Quinn Ewers can't stay healthy for a 3rd straight season? I think that's a fair what if. I mean, I think even the realistic Texas fans would admit that. But it sounds like he's changed his body, changed his diet. He's trying to fix that where he can play a full 12-game season. even into a 16-17 game season. Second, what if kicker Bert Auburn wins the Lou Groza Award? I actually think this is going to happen. If I was going to pick someone to go win the Lou Groza Award this year, I think his improvement under one of the better special teams coaches in the country, Jeff Banks, will do a phenomenal job. He also coaches the tight ends as well. But he has a big say in the special teams game, the development of some kickers. When I was with him at Texas A&M, I think he only helps Bert Auburn grow as a kicker this year. But what if Bert Auburn wins the Lou Groza Award is my second what if. And then finally, like I mentioned, a pretty broad one, but man, it'd be scary. What if Texas wins the SEC in their first season? What if? Just let that marinate. Sit on that. I'm just saying. But guys, I appreciate you joining us on this segment. Hey, remember, I'm your host, Dave Shumate, here from the SEC Unfiltered platform. Go like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, guys. We want to hear from you guys. It's SEC content 24/7, 365. You have a phenomenal day. Let's have a great day from top to bottom, guys. It's Friday. You have a phenomenal weekend.